It's time for Dodger Baseball.
What a catch by Mookie Betts. Another home run for Corey Seager. Another strikeout for Kershaw. A robbery of Tatis. Gone. What a snap. This is what an ace looks like.
And tagged out is Riley, a double play.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
And welcome to the Dodgers Nation postgame show. I'm your host, Doug McCain. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers get the win over the Anaheim Angels. The real LA team wins the series. The Dodgers, they get it done. They take 2 of 3 from the Halos, and they stay 4 games back of the Giants in the NL West. And we've got a lot to get into. You know how we get down, though, on this show. Let me know where you're rocking with us. Give me those city zip codes, area codes. Throw those down below in the comment section. Anthony Keene, yo, D-Mac, happy Sunday, my dude. It's always a happy Sunday when the Dodgers get the dub. What up, Anthony? Sub Doug from X-Fat Snap over on YouTube. Dougie Doug, Dodgers win, baby. 3-2-3 Lincoln Heights in the house from Daniel Braun. Trey got speed. What is that? Trey got speed. Tio Albert, hold my beer, kid. LOL. I know. If he's you got the Bugatti and you got the tank out there, right? I mean, it's really nice to see what Trea Turner has been able to do to ignite and spark this offense. We saw that double steal by AJ Pollock and Justin Turner there to begin the game. Then you saw just Chris Taylor got his own steal. You're seeing this offense really look more dynamic with him in the line. We're going to get into that. You saw Max Muncy getting under the tag there in the first inning. But here we go. Sub Doug, what up? We got to watch out for Trea Turner. He's a game changer. Trea Turner is an absolute stud. You see what he's able to do out there. The fastest guy in Major League Baseball. I'm telling you, Trea Turner is an absolute energizer for this offense. And what not only is he fast on the base pass, he knows how to get on base. You saw today, he ends up going 1 for 4. He gets his first extra base hit as a Dodger, but you're seeing him going out there having competitive at-bats, and he's really, I think, making his teammates around him better. And that is what the great ones do. And you got guys out there that want to say, hey, he's not the only fast guy on this team, and everyone's out to prove that they can run wild like Trea Turner. But we're going to get into what he did today because it was just very, very impressive to see what he's doing on that base path. I'm telling you, he should just run to Dodger Stadium. I don't know where he's living, but he should just run and avoid that LA traffic. He could probably get to the stadium faster that way. That is how much speed that man possesses. And he runs like a man possessed on the base pass. And it's just going to help this Dodgers team get out to leads earlier in games, find a way to get that momentum earlier. Because we've seen this season, one of the issues with this Dodger team is when they fall behind, when they have to play catch-up, they start to really falter. And with him going out and being that guy, look, highest batting average since the 2021 season is Trea Turner. I mean, so one, he can get on base, take his walks. He can also slug today. You saw a double from him. And, yeah, it was just great to see. The Dodgers they're 18-25 when the opponent scores first this year. So getting ahead early in games, we saw that on back-to-back nights. I mean, the Dodgers really it was a good win. It was a solid win for this Dodger team. They needed it. They need to keep pace with this Giants team that's relentless. They continue to win games. But back to this comment section, who do you guys have as your player of the game? You got some options. Walker Buehler, he gets the dub again. Walker Buehler, not even his best day, not even his best outing for Walker Buehler, but still, that is what I think makes him a better pitcher these days. He can go out there, and he doesn't have to go out there and throw 100 and high 90s and just throw it by guys with that four-seam fastball. You saw him getting it done with that slider, with that curveball, with that two-seam action a little bit today, and he improves to 12-2 on the year. He's right in the thick of it with guys like Zach Wheeler, who had another nice outing today for the Cy Young Award, and I really, really hope he gets it. But who's your player of the game? You can also say Albert Pujols, who got that big 2-run shot there for the Dodgers. That made it 5-3 LA. That was the Dodgers, was it the 5th run of the game? I don't know. We'll check on that one. But yeah, that was great to see Pujols get that big blast there. And that made it. That was in the bottom of the second inning. That made it 5-0 LA. So I was thinking of last night's game for some reason. But yeah, it was great to see it. And yeah, who's your player of the game? Walker Buehler. You go Albert Pujols. You go Trea Turner. How about Cody Bellinger? Cody Bellinger is really starting to come alive. You look at Cody Bellinger. He gets another home run today. And it wasn't just, yes, Cody Bellinger is going to run into some. We know that. He has that kind of swing. Boom or bust, all or nothing, whatever you want to call it. But the thing today, 95-mile-per-hour high cheddar. And now that is the difference. If he's starting to hit that pitch, you're seeing him get the power back and the strength back in that shoulder. And I'm just going to go say this right here. I think that if Cody Bellinger can get it going, I know I've seen people out there. And look at Cody Bellinger here. Cody Bellinger, he gets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 6-game hitting. He's now got a 6-game hitting streak for Cody Bellinger. Went 1 for 4 yesterday, had a home run, the RBI, and then today another belly bomb. And yesterday, that is the kind of home run that can ignite you. That's the kind of home run that can get your season going because it was a big shot. It was an equalizer, and the Dodgers need it in the worst way. And look, don't kid yourself. This is a guy who's had success for his entire life. He won Rookie of the Year. He won MVP. This guy sees himself as a superstar player, and he hears all this talk saying, oh, we got Trea Turner. So what that's going to do is we're going to put him at second, and then he could possibly be center. But he's going to play second, and then we could have Chris Taylor playing center, and then A.J. Pollock in left. And I'm here to tell you that if Cody Bellinger gets it going, if he gets it going and he's starting to become more reliable at the plate, you can't keep him off the field in the postseason because of what he can do with the glove. He can change the game with his defense. You saw yesterday how to throw, almost nailed him at the plate, but he changed the game with his defense, and if he can find a way to get respectable, to get into that 260, 270 range with the stick, but also slugging, hitting home runs, you can't keep him off the field. This is Cody Bellinger we're talking about. And then also, who's the guy that he would replace? Well, you're talking about A.J. Pollock, right? And if A.J. Pollock was on the field, was on the field, he's had a great year, there's no question about it. A.J. Pollock has been one of the guys that's carried this team all season long. But would you really want to have A.J. Pollock out there and Chris Taylor and no Cody Bellinger, have him coming off the bench if he's turning it around? I just don't know at this point. I mean, I really hope that Bellinger gets it going. This year, A.J. Pollock, he's really, he's hitting 304, has an 888 OPS, a 140 OPS plus, but there is the postseason. Are we going to see him come around in the postseason? That's kind of the big question. Can we count on him to get those big base knocks when it matters most? And I think that that's going to be kind of the difference because, yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's still a possibility of getting Cody Bellinger to get hot because last year in the postseason, 41 at-bats for A.J. Pollock, a 541 OPS, only 2 extra base hits. Now we saw Cody Bellinger, he robbed Fernando Tatis Jr. He had the second biggest home run in Dodgers history was hit by Cody Bellinger, and that was in the NLCS Game 7. So do you really want to keep a guy like that off the field? So I'm going to be keeping paying close attention to that. How do you guys feeling about that? But you think we catch the Giants, Alexander Eek. Look, you guys know where I stand. I look at the Michelada half full. This Giants team, I watch basically every single one of their games. They are a relentless bunch. They're a team that is not going away. We said that early on, that you got to have to respect this team. Do I think the Dodgers can do it? I definitely do. Okay, over 50 games to play, a lot of baseball, and they got Trea Turner and Max Scherzer. Now, hopefully, Justin Turner, who had to leave the game on that nice play he made, a little crossbody throw in the scoop job. Hopefully, it's not. They said it was left groin discomfort. I don't think that's. I don't think that's going to be I just don't think that's going to be. I don't think that's going to keep him out for very long. But I think this Dodger team can do it. I mean, both teams have pretty difficult schedules when you look at it. The Dodgers, they're going to be playing the Phillies this week on the road. The Phillies, 8-game winning streak, one of the hottest teams in Major League Baseball. The Giants, though, at the end of this month, they played 9 straight on the road against Oakland, which is pretty much a home game for them, but who cares? Still a road game. And then they played the Mets and they played the Braves. And the Braves and the Mets and the Phillies, they're all bunched up there in the NL East, so that's going to be hard competitive baseball. But they were able to take 2 of 3 from that Brewers team. But yeah, this Giants team is really good. They have 8 players, Ruff, Dickerson, Lamont Wade Jr., Buster Posey, Flores, Bell, Yastrzemski, and Crawford. 8 players that have double-digit home runs, and then you add Chris Bryant, okay? So, I mean, this is a team that definitely has offense, and it's to me is will their pitching be able to hold on, because DeSclafani, Kevin Gausman, they've been a little shaky in the second half of the season. They haven't been as dominant as the first half. So do I think they can do it? Yes, Dodgers are 4 games back at the moment. They still play a 3-game series against the Giants. So absolutely they can do it. Will they do it? I think that's just going to come down to, can they stay healthy? Is this the Dodgers offense from what we saw last 2 days with Trea Turner as the catalyst on the top of the lineup right there, getting things going? Will Mookie Betts stay healthy? I mean, there's a lot of questions when it comes to the health goes. When will we see Kershaw back? Will we see Cole Hamels and Danny Duffy earlier than later? So a lot of question marks, but there's so much talent on this Dodgers team. They know what's at stake. They don't want to put themselves in a position where they have to play a 1-game wild card game, and anything can happen in baseball. And with a team has this much invested in it, with guys that are towards the end of their careers, I think that this team is going to really fight tooth and nail to try to get that division win, and they know they don't want to lose it to the hated rival Giants. So I know I got to get some more of your comments. You guys have been asking me good questions, so I've been kind of going on, but what's up, my man Tim Rogers? Go follow my man at SD Dodger. He's the prospect guru here at Dodgers Nation. My good friend Tim Rogers, go to his site, Dodgers 2080. If you're not up on the prospect game where the future Dodger stars, that's where you need to go first, because he breaks it down for all your future Dodgers. So definitely go follow my man at SD Dodger. Robert Sosa from West Covina, you think we got, I'm not giving you my area code. Andrew DeVore, my bad. Sorry. How about your city? Turner Burner. It's funny. Yesterday I tweeted out, I was like, hey, I'm really disappointed in Jerry Hairston Jr. because I thought that after the game he would say, Trea Turner is a straight burner. And he didn't say it. And then today I watched the beginning of their post-game show, and he just said Trea Turner the burner. So I knew that was coming for some reason. My man Jerry Harrison Jr., one of the best in the game. I love the way that guy gets down. But the Dodgers, 3 for now, runners in the scoring position today, 8 left on base, but found a way to win a game comfortably. They won by a score of 8-2, and yeah, I mean Walker Buehler got it done. You saw guys that you saw Brule in there, and yeah, I gotta say, my man Justin, you Brule, because you went in there, you pitched 2 innings for this Dodger team that he pitched an inning in 2/3 after Quackenbush really did not look good at all. He ended up pitching a third of an inning, gave up 1 earned run on 3 hits, had 20 pitches, so not a good first appearance with the Dodgers this year for Quackenbush, who hadn't pitched in the bigs for over 3 years. But how about Phil Bickford? I mean, this guy, one of the great success stories in Major League Baseball this year is Phil Bickford. You love to see what he's able to do out there. Now, did you want to see him out there going as much as he's been going? I think that you might have wanted to put someone else out there. But look, I mean, Phil Bickford, the good thing is he came in there and didn't put a lot of stress on that arm, just 10 pitches. He did get the job done. And, he ends up going an inning, had 1 punch out, and he just makes it look easy in there when he's really getting it going and when he's really on 2 for 3 on first pitch strikes. And yeah, Phil Bickford, man, what can you say about the guy? He had a 1.66 ERA plus heading into today's game, a 2.37 ERA. He's given up just 2 home runs on the season, and he's just been a revelation for the Dodgers. Phil Bickford, I mean, if you guys know his story, he's gone through a lot. Was a big prospect for the San Francisco Giants, had some issues. Only pitched last year for the Brewers. Just 1 inning last year for the Brewers. He ends up going just 1 inning for them, and this year just an inning for them this year. So an inning last year and an inning this year, and then he comes up and he's already pitched 31 1/3 innings for the Dodgers, and it's just a great story. And I really think that it's going to translate. I really do. I really think that he's going to be a guy that we can count on moving forward. And, that's just what this team tends to do. That's how the bullpen's position is. It tends to be volatile from year to year. Sometimes you catch a hot reliever, and I think the Dodgers have done just that. So far in the month of August, a 0 ERA and 2 2/3 innings pitched. If you look at him, he just pitched really well. He's starting to pitch a lot He pitched Friday. He pitched every game in this series, and they're going to need him in some key spots during this road trip. But, yeah, let me know down below in the comments. What do you guys think about Phil Bickford? How do you guys feel about him? How confident are you in Phil Bickford? Any news on JT? Pretty much what they said, the discomfort, but no update other than that. Belly found his bat. That's from Jacob Guerra. Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, and you saw what Bellinger's able to do, and he hits that big shot yesterday, and he has a nose for the moment. That's what I'm saying. Look, I hear a lot of people that want to write off Bellinger, at least for this season, because of that shoulder injury. And like Dave Roberts said, yes, it is difficult to get your strength back after shoulder surgery, and we've seen guys like Adrian Gonzalez and Matt Kemp struggle to get back to full strength. It does not happen overnight, but you're starting to see him make progress, and I'm very impressed with how he's handled this because he knows what happened when they signed Trea Turner. He knows Trea Turner has played 45 games at center field. He knows the kind of season that Chris Taylor and A.J. Pollock are having, and when you talk about Dave Roberts a few days ago, he said, hey, we have to put the best guys out there to help us win a ball game, and they're going to play him against righties, and the thing is, I think he's hitting. So they're gonna play him against righties. But look, I mean, I think that to me, I love what AJ Pollock's done this year. He's been fantastic, but I don't want to write off Cody Bellinger. I mean, you got to play the hot hand, and we'll see. I mean, this game has these ebbs and flows, and I just don't want to be in a big postseason game and not have Bellinger's defense out there. It was so critical. Without Cody Bellinger on defense last year, without Cody Bellinger's big hits, even had a big bomb in the World Series, we would not have won the World Series without Cody Bellinger last year. So to just say, oh, A.J. Pollock, who's a guy that had one of the worst series we've ever seen for a Dodger offensively in 2019 against the Nationals, last year had a sub-600 OPS and 41 at-bats. Yes, it's an extremely small sample size, but still not very much slug, just 2 doubles. So, I mean, to me, I still think there's a scenario where you're going to see, possibly Chris Taylor, A.J. Pollock in left, and then hopefully Cody Bellinger can get it going, play him in center. Now, if he's struggling and this is just a fluke and he stays, right under that Mendoza line or a little bit above it and he's striking out, then yes, absolutely, you keep him on the bench and you do that. But to me, the ceiling, the potential that Cody Bellinger has, you got to remember, it's a two. This is a defensive game as well. We always focus on batting averages, OPS, and slugging and this type of thing, but you have to factor in defense as well, especially during crunch time in the postseason. But Butane for Cy Young, I would love to see it. It would probably bring a tear to my eye to see Walker Buehler win the Cy Young Award. It would be fantastic. We're talking about a big-time 162-game Cy Young, which would be, I think, even more impressive, let's be honest. Player of the game, Tio Albert from Diane Schroeder. Absolutely. Let's just give it to Tio Albert going against the Angels, footing that $30 million bill. Like I tweeted from the Dodgers Nation account, hey, man, $30 million just to hit bombs against the Angels is really something you love to see. And, look, I understand. I'm just messing with the Angels fans out there. Obviously, they had a decision to make. They had guys that they wanted to play in there. They're still developing. It didn't make very much sense to keep Pujols there if he's gonna keep a guy like Jared Walsh, who is a rising star, off the field to any extent, and we saw the kind of player he is. So it's just funny because Angels fans are very, very, very extremely sensitive. So by the way, you should hear Rick Monday. He was clowning the Angels on the radio. Paul Vaughn, I'm going to say Belly for player of the game. Paul Vaughn. Will Pedro Baez play in 2021? It's possible. Roast me, guys. Fernando Tatis Jr. FTJ, I see you're playing outfield. I actually have a lot of respect for you coming back and playing despite that shoulder injury. AC at DMAC. What up, AC over on YouTube? I've got Belly's back and his belly. Okay. By the way, did you guys see any camera phone shots or video, whatever you call it, of that Dodgers ball girl that kind of got in the way of that fan? I thought that was pretty hilarious. What do you guys think about that? The Tatis account is fake. No, that's definitely Fernando Tatis Jr. I mean, are you serious? This is a big show. Don Kim, I'm with you, D-Mac. You think this is a real sign of progress for Cody, the former MVP? Don Kim, look, it takes longer. It takes more than just a few home runs to really break out of a slump and really be a more consistent hitter because, look, I'm not going to overreact to a couple home runs against the Angels, even though I thought last night was so impressive, such a big home run, and he crushed it. I mean, he hit that thing man, he hit that thing over to Montebello, right? I mean, it was huge, that bomb he hit. And then tonight to get another home run off a heater, a high heater, I think that is real progress. And you're seeing he's starting to see the ball better. He's not seeing an 8K like some guys we've seen this season, but he is making progress. And I think that considering all the adversity, considering that look, man, this is no joke. This guy did not, like Andrew Friedman said in the offseason, he did not get his standard weight training session. And look, man, he's already a pretty lean dude in and of itself, so he needs to get that strength where it is, and you've heard nothing but good things about him when it comes to his work ethic and him trying to find his swing and get it right. So I am rooting for a guy like Cody Bellinger because I look at it this way. When a player reaches their full potential, what is their ceiling? And Cody Bellinger, when he's at his best, and he hasn't been his best for a while, I mean, a little over 200 last 2 seasons, but if he can find it, if he can get it right, when you look at offense, defense, he's also another guy that can wreak havoc on the base pass. He's a guy that has high potential, and he's been in these big spots. And here we go. Deborah Young, AJ looks good in the 3 spot. Deborah Young, I know you would come talking about your boy AJ Polk, and AJ Polk's going to be massive for this team. Look, this team has AJ Polk, and they added another right-handed bat in Trea Turner. Offensively, I'm not concerned with this team. I do think, especially if Mookie is going to be okay. I'm not going to lie. I am very concerned with Mookie Betts because it feels like, he gets in there. He's played great. He's seen the ball great. You saw, how his hand is a little different where he's going through the baseball, and he's made a little adjustment there, and he's hitting for power. And I do think I like Mookie in that 3 spot. AJ Pollock, AJ Pollo is on fire. As for Moose 1032. I think if you AJ Pollock, I think Mookie Betts in that 3 hole. I like him there, but AJ Pollock is going to contribute to this offense wherever he is in the lineup because he has all year, and he's just going up there. And the thing about A.J. Pollock is he just looks so confident at the plate. I think that's one thing that really stands out. You're seeing him up there. He finds pitches he can drive, and, he locates fastballs, and just, he's just very, very decisive at the plate. And I think that's one thing that even last year, don't kid yourself. Last year was a breakout year for A.J. Pollock. So, yeah, I'm actually very, 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 very encouraged by this offense. Really, if you look at AJ Pollock last year, he was tied. I believe he was tied with Mookie Betts for the team lead home runs with 16 home runs, and he had less at bats. So look, this guy was slugging last year, and that was kind of the big thing as far as the difference that makes. And then this year, you're seeing him just really look like one of, honestly, like a top 30, 40 player in Major League Baseball offensively, especially over the last 2 months. So it's really a great thing to see if you're a Dodger fan. There were some people out there, that were saying that, okay, that contract wasn't a good contract by Andrew Friedman. But yeah, if you look at the last 30 days for A.J. Pollock, he's 37 for his last 87 with an OPS of 1130. So an OPS of 1130. And then you look at his last 12 games. He's 22 for 47, an OPS of 1140. So this is not a fluke with A.J. Pollock. He is a guy that has really put together a really, 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 really nice year for the Dodgers. If you look at his last 5 games, 7 for his last 18, with an OPS of 1032. So, yeah, you love to see what we're seeing from A.J. Pollock this year. And I just hope that he's not peaking too early, because I want to see him have his big Dodger moment. Have his big Dodger moment where he comes through in the clutch in the postseason, because the Dodgers, they're going to need some power from that right side, and he's going to be critical for this Dodger team. So it's a good problem to have when you're the Dodgers, too. Talent everywhere. Great job, Dodgers, from Linda over on Facebook. T. Turner needs to be the new leadoff batter. Diane Shooter, I love that take. I think it's what we've seen in the last few days. He goes up there, and he's just so good with the bat. He's the best 2-strike hitter in Major League Baseball, and that's what you need, a guy that can go up there and find a way to get on base, and he'll take his walks. And then he'll today you saw he just, he ripped that changeup into left field, got the double. He scored from first. On that double from Muncy. We're going to get into that. Giants are still a threat. No way around it. AC, yeah. Is there anyone watching this that doesn't take the Giants seriously at this point? I'm curious to see. The Giants and Dodgers have only 3 games against each other left in San Francisco in September. Tom Dolan, that's exactly correct. It is the 1-game wild card back this year, no 3 games like last year. Yeah, you're going to just have the game, the 1 game. You're not going to have the expanded postseason like we saw last year where you had to win 13 games to win it all. Stop losing when the Giants lose, William Blockson. Yeah, that's kind of the story of the season. If you look at it, it's just really uncanny. And they've given the Dodgers some opportunities. I mean, to me, when the Pirates go into San Francisco and beat that team with the best team in Major League Baseball 2 out of 3, I mean, that's a real issue. So, this team grinds, man. I'm telling you, if you watch this Giants team, they grind. You got to give them credit. I feel like they got their game plan down. They are, Kapler's doing a nice job with them. And like I said, they don't have that 1 or 2 guys that are scoring all their runs and generating on their offense. Like I said, 9 guys that have double-digit home runs when you include Chris Bryant, who they acquired. So, the Dodgers, they have their work cut out for them. There's no question about it. And look, they're just in a tough division. I mean, the Giants 71 wins, okay? That's the best. That's the most in Major League Baseball. If the Dodgers were in any other division, save for the AL East, the Dodgers would be in first place. So, look, it's a very competitive NL West. That's something you also have to consider. Daniel Moreno, we need to trade Cody. What's your guys' opinion on that? Do you think, yes or no? Let me know down below in the comment section. Should the Dodgers trade Cody Bellinger? Let me know. 71-41 rec with a 4-game lead. Woohoo, Dodgers, Olivia. What up, Olivia? Roberts almost blew another one. LOL putting in Quackenbush. I wouldn't put that on Roberts. If you know that decision, if you know this team, that decision wasn't made by Dave Roberts. That was a game plan decision that was in before the game. I mean, that's just how this team operates. If you think that was Dave Roberts sitting in the dugout saying, "Oh, this is the lead. Let's go with Quackenbush and this and that," that definitely is not the case. I can tell you that. If you're going to bring a guy in, you're going to put him on the active roster. You got to see what you have in him, and that's a spot to do it. That's a pretty healthy enough lead to where you can go in there and see what a guy has. Thankfully, how about Brule? I mean, give Brule a lot of credit. I mean, to me, he's up there for player of the game too, considering that was it. But Joseph Megazzini, what up, Joseph Megazzini? Trey the Beast, yes, Trea Turner, Dr. Trey. That's what I like to call him. He is an absolute beast. And, just seeing him on that base pass, on those, run the bases, it's electric, it's lightning. And, man, he's so fast, man. Bellinger is batting less than 200. Pollock wants an extension, pound for pound. Ricky, all we need is Belly to hit like 250. He's Gold Glove caliber. Absolutely. I mean, you see that glove, you see that gold on his rolling mitt. T.O. smashing lefties, pound for pound. Yes, you love to see it. That's exactly why the Dodgers signed him, and he has been that role. It was nice to see him get the hug from Max Muncy this time because we know that that's the best home run celebration in the game is Albert Pujols giving a hug to whoever hits a Dodgers home run, but it was Max Muncy waiting for him at the dugout to give him the hug, the big bear hug today. And look, he's doing exactly what they signed him to do. Heading into today, he was OPSing 934 against left-handed pitching this season. So, I mean, it's what the Dodgers signed him to do, and he's doing just that. And on top of that, there's a lot of intangible benefits that he's bringing as far as clubhouse leadership, as far as keeping guys loose, as far as just the general morale in that clubhouse. To me, he has been worth it, especially when you consider the Angels are paying him $30 million for him to do that. DFA Trey, DMAC_SD. Oh my goodness, I have an imposter, DMAC_SD, DFA Trey. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I love it though. Probably gonna have to report that though. Doom_Sal, DMAC. Is this the start of the run we have been waiting for? We'll see. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. You guys know how optimistic I can be, but I also like to keep it real. I like to bring my facts to the fight. And the bottom line is the Dodgers do have their work cut out for them this week. Thankfully, like Joe Davis pointed out, thankfully, Joe Davis pointed out, the Dodgers were able to avoid Zach Wheeler. How cool would it have been if it had lined up to have Buehler against Wheeler? I think that would have been pretty cool. But bottom line is the Dodgers, like I said, they do have a schedule coming up where, like, anytime you go on that East Coast road trip, we've seen them you have their ups and downs, but 3 against the Phillies starting on Tuesday, 4:05 starts, and then a 10:05 start on Thursday, and then you got at New York at the Mets for a 3-game set, and then you come home and then you have a nice little homestand, a 7-game homestand, 3 against Pittsburgh and 4 against New York before heading to San Diego for a road trip, and then you got another homestand, 3 against Colorado and 2 against the Braves to round out the August schedule. So, look, I mean, I do think that things are definitely trending in the right direction because you saw Trea Turner. Look, what if Trea Turner had started this with his new team and he's putting up offers, not getting on base, not doing much? No, but we've seen in just 2 days the impact he can have when he gets on base. And not only that, key hits. You saw defensively what he was able to do yesterday. I'm telling you, this guy is a true 5-tool player. And I'm telling you, this guy's an elite player. He's a top 15 player in Major League Baseball. There's no question about it. Since 2020, only Fernando Tatis Jr. has generated more WAR against him. He's 11th in WRC+. He's number 1 in batting average. And I'm telling you, get excited for Trea Turner. I mean, to me, I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic. If we can get through this Phillies series and at least take 2 of 3, then I'll feel really good about it. Especially, I love the way that it lines up with the opening game with Max Scherzer. So Max Scherzer going up against Aaron Nola, and then you got David Price going up against Kyle Gibson, who they acquired from the Rangers at the deadline, and then we're still TBD for the Thursday start. But, it's going to be very interesting to see. This is a very big week for the Dodgers. The thing is, the Dodgers could still win the World Series as a wild card. I would prefer it not to be. I want as many home games as possible. I want the most favorable matchups as possible. But, look, the way that it is, just look no further than 2 guys that were on that team, Max Scherzer and Trea Turner. Ask them if you can win a World Series as a wild card. They'll say, hey, 2019. And you saw what they were able to do that year. Shout out to Trent Grisham. We'll get into this game. Let's see. If you recap this game, you do some comments. Let's do some comments because you guys really make this show what it is. Keep bringing that fire, guys. Trey should bat 9th. DMAC _SD. Oh, my Lord. Y'all should take it serious. Freaking Giants. And the division is going to be decided in that series in San Francisco. Anthony Keene. That is making me want to take, that's making me want to get into my Ford Pinto from the 70s and go up there and see that game. Maybe I'll kick it with you, Anthony Keene, because that just kind of gave me chills. I do think that it will potentially come down to that series. Either way, it's going to be a massive series, and it definitely, those 3 pivotal games, depending on what happens for the rest of this month, are just going to be so massive. They're going to loom large, and I think you're definitely on the money with that one. It's going to be huge. And look, we've seen the Dodgers go up there and have success. It's almost like they don't feel the nerves of that 50,000-plus Dodger Stadium crowd. It's their turn to play the spoiler. And I think the Dodgers like that. I think they're cool with that. And if you look at the Giants' schedule coming up right now, the Giants' schedule right now, they took 2 or 3 from Milwaukee, and then they have a really cushy homestand. So I think that there's a scenario. I know Dodger fans are going to completely freak out, and that's to be expected. But there could be a scenario where the Dodgers fall, but then are able to make up ground by the end of this month. So don't be too alarmed if you see that go to 5 games, 6 games, because that starts to get pretty. That starts to be a pretty big gap there. But look, there is a scenario where you start to see us fluctuate because you get a cushy homestand for the Giants because they come home. They have tomorrow off, and they play 2 against the Diamondbacks, who are a AA team. The A in Arizona stands for single A, so they're actually a single A team. And then the Rockies, a 4-game set at home against the Rockies. Still got Marquez, shout out to the fantasy team. He's been balling for me. So I'm hoping that he'll hook me up with a win. And they got 3 at home against the Mets. The Mets are a team that can beat any team in baseball, but they tend to be inconsistent at times. You've seen DeGrom with the injuries, but they're a team that they have some momentum too, and they're fighting for a division crown as well. So they have a really cushy 9-game homestand coming up. So that's going to be big for them. And then they go on that big road trip. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's gonna be a fight to the finish. Extend JT 10 years. DMAC underscore. Dodgers in 4. Mark Flores. DMAC SD is a Padre fan. Yeah, I know who that is. Bizarro DMAC Anthony King. There's an imposter. Diane Schroeder. Uncle Tio is worth every penny. DMX is a Padre fan about to get beat by the Reds for the 3rd. Yeah, are they losing? Give me an update on that. D-backs are defined a threat. Okay. Dodgers will re-sign Trea pound for pound. By the way, what do you got? Do you think that Trea Turner is a $300 million player? I asked that on YouTube earlier. Go give me your comment on this YouTube video I just dropped before the game over at Dodgers at youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. If you give me your takes over there, I appreciate that. DMAC.com, my dude. What up, Bruce Davis? How you doing, my man? Let's go. Roach, the Dodgers will win the division. 100% confident. You have my Roach guaranteed. You guys hear that? You can just book it. Because first of all, if you don't know Roach, this guy, follow him over on Twitter. He is a internet legend when it comes to the chat. This guy brings it. If he says it, I'm that much more confident. Don't overpay Seager. Let's go, DMAC. First round of drinks on me, Anthony King. Hey man, I'll bring all the equipment. I'm in Dodgers Nation headquarters, the at DNHQ3. But this show's got to go on the road at some point. You know what I'm saying? And that might be the time to do it. But Tatis Jr. always hurt and makes $330 million a year from Paul Vaughn. SD or bums pay Seager his money from Dodgers Dune 1130. Giants paid DMAX. We got Padres or bums. Tom Dolan is a troll. Josh, who is better long term, Seager or Trea, and why? Go check out that Dodgers YouTube video I just dropped. I talked a lot about that. But look, to me, just kind of really the short answer there is I think Corey Seager. We can talk about his numbers, the fact that this guy can slug with the best of them when it comes to an infield position, and he's a guy that is a doubles machine. We saw last year the uptick in power, but for me, it's the dependability. So really, I want to see a full, before the season started, I said, hey, I want to see him play a lion's share of these games without getting hurt, and a lot of it is bad luck, but look, a lot of it is, injured players tend to get injured, okay, and we've seen that. I'm not saying he's made of glass because he's a guy that without Corey Seager is a Dodger legend. Just period, end of story. He's a Dodger legend for Rookie of the Year, for All-Star appearances, for winning the NLCS and World Series MVP. He's a guy that was so big. It was as big as anyone. Corey Seager was as big as anyone when it came to ending the drought. He was the most significant reason why the Dodgers won last year from an offensive standpoint. But when it comes to investing long-term, you don't pay contracts on what a player has done. You pay them contracts for what they will do. And Scott Boras is his agent. You know he's going to be aggressive. You know he's going to want a big bag. And I just don't think I would go north of $200 million if he's adamant on playing the shortstop position. To me, I think that's a non-starter, and I think the Dodgers are one of the most upfront organizations when it comes to guys they're trying to re-sign. Just look at Andrew Friedman in the offseason. Talk about how, hey, our guys owe it to themselves to go see what's out there. They owe it to themselves to go see what other teams might be offering, and then we'll talk. But the Dodgers will not get into a bidding war with Corey Seager. They will not overpay for Corey Seager. But I do think that Corey Seager, I would like to see him back with the Dodgers on a more reasonable contract at a different position. But, yeah, as far as him playing shortstop, that's a no-no. No, he's not. Braves looking scary. Roach is the man. What up, D-Mac? What up, Michael Jordan? MJ, his airness. Look, I would say, what are you doing here? But, MJ, you had an illustrious baseball career yourself. Shout out to the Barons. I know how you get down. Roach for the win from Anthony Keene. William Block saying, yes, I think Seager is going to the Yanks. Freeze up the bag for Trea. Ricky, I think the Yankees want Story. I mean, we hear all the rumors that they were interested in him, but we'll see. Extend Pujols. He's still young from DMAC_SD. Uncle Albert goes, yeah. Nolan DMAC, what was your drink of choice during this fine? Oh, I think, man, make me a dub. Make me one of those, man. I'm down with that blackberry whiskey sour. I'll get down with that for sure. Some straight tequila. Turner is feeling like he's worth all the money. The instant impact he's had is undeniable. Anthony Keene, absolutely. And to see him just get off on the right foot and show just the fans, his team, what he's capable of. Look, these guys, they know what he's capable of because Major League players, game recognized game, and they know how good of a player he is. But I just like his leadership. I think that really, like, look, I mean, I'm a big believer in great players making other great players great. I mean, better just by their mere presence. I think Mookie Betts was that guy last year. His work ethic, his accountability, the way he went about his craft, the way he was the first guy to show up despite having just signed a $365 million contract before the season started. And I think Trea Turner is a guy like that. You saw the energy on the base pass from other guys out there. You saw that double steal. You saw Chris Taylor swipe a base. And there's guys out there that say, hey, I want to show that I'm also a complete ball player myself. We got Dodgers City jerseys. Is it those ones that say Los Dodgers, the blue ones? I mean, I don't know what to trust. I'll give you my full take. I'll do a video on those. MJ, definitely an MLB Hall of Famer from DMAC_SD. You're killing me, man. Doug, Pacifico or Modelo? It depends on the mood. I mean, I'll crush both. I've been a Modelo guy for quite some time, but I like Pacificos. They're very refreshing. I'm also a pretty easy dude when it comes to beers, but I pride myself as a Modelo dude, but I do like me some Pacifico, that's for sure. Let Kershaw, you got to stop DMAC_SD. When's Cole Hamels coming up? That's from Craig Osterberg. It's a good question. I think at this point we don't really know exactly. You saw him throwing yesterday. He was throwing to Zach Rex at Dodger Stadium. He looked pretty solid out there. I think it's going to be earlier than later, especially I think they're going to try to fast-track it as much as possible because of Clayton Kershaw kind of remaining in neutral, and that soreness just continues for Kershaw. So I'd anticipate he's definitely in there sooner than we're going to see Danny Duffy. I think there's no question about that at this point, but I'm thinking, it's a matter of, 2-3 weeks for Cole Hamels, at least I'm hoping. Bob Nightingale, Dodgers lose a rough one today, 8-2. You're killing me, Bob Nightingale. Jansen has been messing up. Mark Flores, he has, and he struggled. ERA over 18 since the All-Star break, but yesterday he came in, he got the job done. That was definitely City Jersey. Man, I can't keep a straight face with you, _SD. Michael, we got, do you think Betts needs surgery after the season ends? That's from Robert Loya. That's a really good question that I've thought about a lot. At his age, with his athleticism, the way he plays the game, we're not talking about a guy that doesn't use his athleticism on the field. He's a guy that is going to do whatever he can to get to balls, whether it be from second base making diving catches or in right field or in center field making diving catches. He's a guy that is going to use his athleticism. He's going to use it on the base pass. You see his swing. There's so much force in that swing. You would love to rehab it, but it does seem like that's something that could be on the table. How severe it'll be, that's a good question, but yeah, you just hope that they can get it to the point where they're not doing it can't get worse than it is now as far as the rest of the season. Because look, we lose Mookie Betts. Trea Turner's great, but I still feel like Mookie Betts is, this is kind of like the sun as far as our offense when it's really going. I mean, it kind of revolves around him. He does so many things right. Scherzer plunking Harper pound for pound. Blue Rouge. Roach. Blue Moon was also an acceptable answer. Okay. Sorry, the answer we were looking for was Pacifico. Hey, man, I just got to keep it real. I like Pacifico, though. So, I mean, I've got stretches where I crush Pacificos for months. So, Hannibal Lecter, what up, Doug? If the Dodgers are healthy come October, bet. I will. You know how I get down. Let's go. A lot of money. Okay, so let's get a knee-jerk reaction. You don't know if Trea Turner wants to sign long-term with the Dodgers. If he doesn't want to sign, you still have Seager. That's from Greg. That's from Greg Belcar over on Facebook. Yeah, that's another thing, too. I mean, I was talking to my friend about that. We always assume that it's just a matter of, if the Dodgers offer him this amount and they like the price, that they are going to want to sign with this team. That's not the case. L.A. and the Dodger franchise isn't a fit for every player, but just for starters, I do like what I've heard from him so far. He said he's excited to be in L.A., he's excited about the food, he likes the weather. So those are things that are very attractive. And also, he's going to see how this organization runs. He's going to see how professional they are, all the resources they have, the strength and conditioning, from game planning. One thing he said in his introductory press conference was he was excited to see how they game plan for opponents. And I think that this organization is going to have ample time the rest of this year and all of next season at minimum to try to swoon Trea Turner into signing with the Dodgers long term. And yeah, that's a great point. You still have to seal the deal and you don't know what he's going to be considering. You don't know what other team. He's an East Coast guy. That's where he's from. So it's not a given that he'll just automatically accept any offer from the Dodgers. So that's a great point there. We always just kind of assume that if we just name his number, he'll resign. But it's a lot of things. We got to see how he likes to play. We got to see how the Dodgers end this season. We got to see just if he likes playing in Los Angeles. And there's a lot of things that are in place. So I definitely think that's a really good point. Here we go. Tom Dolan likes to kiss DMAX _SD. I feel so bad for Lux, dog days. Look, Gavin Lux has benefited from this organization. Gavin Lux is a guy that probably wouldn't be the player he is today without all the development, all the coaching he's received in this Dodgers organization. And if he continues to work, Gavin Lux will find a place either on this team or on a team around Major League Baseball. Of course, he wants to be with the Dodgers, but this is a team that is in we're never going to see this Dodgers organization in a more win-now mode than they are right now, and that's just the reality of it. If this was a different era of Dodger baseball, even if this was a few years ago with this Dodger team, he might have more opportunities, but this organization has told us that, hey, we are going all in on winning another World Series, and unfortunately, he's just kind of the odd man out at this point. But quick recap on this game before we head out. Got to go to the bottom of the first. So a great at-bat by Trea Turner to set the tone for the Dodgers offense. He falls behind 0-2 in the count, and then he takes a ball, fouls off 2 pitches. Then on a 1-2 count, remember, best 2-strike hitter in baseball, he pulls a double to left field. Detmers hung a changeup that leaked into the middle of the plate. Trea Turner just hits it, and he gets on base. A 2-bagger for Trea Turner, first XBH of his Dodger career. And then Max Muncy singles to center, and Trea Turner scores from first. That sprint speed is ridiculous, 30.6, 30.7 feet per second, fastest in the league. And you saw those wheels on that play. And then Pollock, he cranks the double over the wall in left. That hits the wall in left to give LA runners on second and third with no outs. And then on a 1-0 pitch, Turner hits a shot to short. That bounces. It takes a big hop, leads to a high throw by Iglesias, and Muncy gets under that tag. And that gives the Dodgers another run. That gives the Dodgers another run right there. And yeah, what a nice base running there by Max Muncy. He was able to get under that tag. Turner hit it hard, but it bounced right there. It forced the high throw. That made it 2-0 Dodgers at that point. And then after that, that Dodgers had runners on first and second with no outs, and then the Dodgers execute that double steal, giving them runners on second and third. And then Seager, he strikes out swinging on a slider low and away. And then Chris Taylor, he goes down swinging on a curveball at the bottom of the zone for the second out. And then with the bases loaded, Belly strikes out swinging at a fastball top of the zone. And that was it. So they got 2 runs in that inning. But that was big. Second night in a row, they scored in that first inning. And then in the bottom of the second inning, so Buehler, he grounds to second for the first out. Trea Turner draws a walk on base machine. Then Muncy flies to center for the second out. And then A.J. Pollock, he singles to center, and Trea Turner scores from first on a single. Think about that. How many guys in the league can actually do that? Very few, and Trea Turner is one of those guys. He scores from first on that single. That makes it 3-0 Dodgers. And then on a 3-0 count, and then Pollock singled, and then on the 3-0 count coming up, Albert Pujols, he hits a 2-run shot right there. So after, 1 second here, I lost my thing. Oh yeah, and then after that, A.J. Pollock, he singles to center, so another hit for A.J. Pollock, and then on a 3-0 count, Pujols, he hits a 2-run shot, and that makes it 3-0 Dodgers right there. No, that makes it 5-0 Dodgers right there. I don't have my notes on me. 5-0 Dodgers right there. His 676th home run of his career, his 9th as a Dodger. Dodgers up 5-0 after 2. You start to feel really good about it. And then in the bottom of the 6th inning, Dodgers, they score again. So bottom of the 6th, jump to that. A.J. Pollock, McKinney singles to left, and Trea Turner flied out, then Muncy grounds out, and then A.J. Pollock singled to left, scoring McKinney, making it 6-1 L.A. So they tack on another run there, and then we jump to the bottom of the 7th inning. Cody Bellinger, hits that Cody Bellinger hits that or Chris Taylor, he gets the leadoff single to right. Will Smith fouls out to second. Then Cody Bellinger, he hits another belly bomb in consecutive nights, 393 feet. That made it 8-1 Dodgers. So you're feeling really good about that. And then in the top of the eighth inning, Stassi struck out looking. Gosselin single to shallow right. Then Iglesias single to right. Gosselin to second. And then Joe Adele, he doubled to left. Gosselin scored, and Iglesias made it to third. So that made it 8-2. And then you saw Abreu come in. He gets Marsh swinging. He strikes him out. Then he loses Ohtani. Had a chance to strike him out, but he walks him. And then he gets Mayfield to ground into the fielder's choice there with runners on with the bases loaded. So that was a big time out for him. And the Dodgers end up getting the win 8-2. They're still 4 games back in the NL West. The offense is looking better. Walker Buehler, not even his best night, but he still pitched very well. And that is, like I said, one of the big things at Walker Buehler is he goes out there today, goes 6 innings, ends up giving up 1 run on 4 hits, 8 strikeouts to 4 walks. So I think it was a season-high 4 walk. Yeah, season-high 4 walks for Butane today. Ends up throwing 95 pitches. But, hey, another quality start for the guy. Has gone 6 innings in each of his starts this year, save for one outing. That was against the Chicago Cubs where they threw that team no-hitter, and then they basically fell off. But anyways, yeah, guys, great win for the Dodgers. Give me your series predictions against the Phillies. How many games would the Dodgers win in their 3-game series against the Philadelphia Phillies? Let me know down below in the comments section. I'm thinking the Dodgers take 2 out of 3. You got Max Scherzer going for them. That should give them a good shot to win 1. I think they win at least another one right there. David Price, we'll see if he can go out there and give us a quality start, and the Dodgers can get a dub. But look, it's a very, very hot Phillies team. If you can come in and win 2 of 3 from that team, that'd be big. But give me your predictions right here. Phillies will sweep from Michael Jordan. Elon Reyna, 2. Fletcher Hall, 2 out of 3. We got Jeff Lane, 2 out of 3. Roach, what's impressive about Cody's home run is not the fact that he hit a home run, it's the fact that he turned on a high fastball is a really good sign. Yeah, Roach, we've been talking about it. That was really the big takeaway there. It wasn't one of those, hanging breaking ball low in the zone they just golfed out. Like you said, some high cheese, he got around on it, and you're seeing him find that rhythm, find that timing, and when he's that guy, he can be a very dangerous hitter in the plate, a guy you want to see there each and every day. But all my predictions have been wrong, so with that in mind, we're getting swept across the board. I like that. Reverse jinx works every time. Diane Shooter, 2 out of 3. Sweep and bring them down back to earth. That's from Daniel Pena over on YouTube. You would love to see that. Ed Brill, 2 out of 3. Dog Days. It was actually 10 strikeouts for Josiah Gray yesterday. Shout out to my man Joe Gray. I will be following his career for the rest of the way out. But, yeah, you get what you pay for, and I won't feel bad about that trade, especially if the Dodgers, re-signed Trea Turner to a long-term deal. And then Max Scherzer, I think that is a guy that might put himself in the mix for a couple, 2-year extension. Age is just a number, right? And at age 37, he's still one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, and the fastball velocity is still averaging over 95 miles per hour, and he's still extremely effective. But Mets will sweep, and latest D-Mac, GOAT. Later, Michael Jordan. Not while we bat first, no sweep for us. Dodgers will sweep the Mets. That's from pound for pound. Deborah Young, 2 out of 3. Verdugo and Betts stats are almost identical. That's in what are you talking about? Because I think isn't Verdugo injured again? And I love me some Verdugo, but that look at let's just do this right here. I like to bring my facts to the fight because that just is not true. This year, Alex Verdugo, he's hitting .278, on base percentage of .344, a slug of .428. He has 11 home runs, but a 108 OPS plus. So 100 being average. Alex Verdugo, a 108 OPS plus. And then let's take a look at Marcus Lynn Betts. He has an OPS plus of 144. He's batting .277, .378, .521 with an .899 OPS and 17 home runs. And 17 home runs in 87 games. Let's see Alex Verdugo. I want to see how many games he's played. So that's just not a true fact. Alex Verdugo and Mookie Betts numbers, they're not similar. Alex Verdugo's played in 105 games, and he has 11 home runs. And I told you Mookie has 17 home runs in 105 games, and you see that OPS and OPS plus significantly better. So yeah, I mean that's a narrative out there I've seen on the socials. It's not true. They're not in the same conversation as players. I love me Alex Verdugo. I said at the time I would have given up Gavin Lux over Alex Verdugo. Go back and check the videos. But unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you just look at it, look, I mean, is there anyone out there that would rather? First of all, with his injury history, would you really want a 25-year-old Alex Verdugo over Mookie Betts? No, there's no GM, there's no baseball mind on the planet that would say yes to that. None, not one, would say that they would rather have Alex Verdugo than Mookie Betts. I don't even really understand this conversation, but we can have it because this is, your show. I miss Verdugo. I love me some Alex Verdugo. I love this guy. He's on paternity leave, I believe. Yes. 2 wins, 1 loss. Verdugo has more assists, better WAR. Oh, come on, man. You really trying to make the case that Verdugo's a better player than Mookie Betts? Just let me know. We can do a and that's the thing. It's like I rather Betts, D-Mac just comping them. It's just look, I love Alex Verdugo. I've watched more Red Sox games this year than but I've seen people on Twitter say they lost the trade and this and that. Arbo, Doug, if Mookie has hip surgery, Mookie isn't going to be Mookie for some time, if ever. Arbo, we're being completely honest. That would definitely be. I hate me some D-back underscore that. That is for sure. I mean, look, hip surgeries are serious. I hope that's not the case. I have no inside intel on that, but I just think that it's something that it doesn't seem like it's to that point yet. So hopefully that's not the case. But you're 100% right. You want to avoid a hip surgery as much as possible. That's a surgery that could really derail someone's career potentially. But when it comes to Alex Verdugo, you also have to look at those intangible benefits as well, too. He has brought a spark to that Boston Red Sox clubhouse. I love the passion he plays with. When that Yankees fan threw a ball at him, I was infuriated because I've been a Doogie fan since day one. But I just see people out there saying they lost the trade and this and that. I think Mookie Betts is we're talking about a guy who's on pace to be a Hall of Famer. That's the trajectory that he's on, and Alex Verdugo hasn't made an All-Star team yet. So they're both great players, and like I said, it's almost a compliment when you see you're going with what you go for with Jeter Downs and Wong. Guys that you were in a deal with Mookie Betts. You were in the deal with a future Hall of Famer, so it's no slight to them at all. I miss Verdugo dancing in the dugout and his demeanor. I agree with you 100%. Guys like that are very big. They're very big for the morale. But look, Mookie Betts, he brought the dunking on him, right? Mookie Betts brought this, okay? Like Mookie Betts has a positive impact like that. Verdugo is pretty nasty, but Mookie is nastier. We got Trea Turner. The Boston Dodgers, yeah, exactly, man. I bet you, Mike, you probably like them too. You probably like watching them too. I mean, they're a fun team to watch. I try to just, I'm pretty much a junkie, really, of all these teams. But anytime I can follow a former Dodger, it's fun to see. It's fun to see how they perform. And like you just told me that Josiah Gray with the 10 strikeouts. I mean, you love to hear about that. Hopefully, Keibert Ruiz does well too. I'm not one of those guys that, you wish they don't do well, because then they're going to come back and people will say, they won the trade, or that was a terrible deal. Look, Pedro Martinez, I'll tell you right now, is my favorite player that wasn't a Dodger. Him and probably, Vladimir Guerrero Sr. and then Ken Griffey Jr., guys like that. And, yeah, it does pain me the fact that the Dodgers made that trade. But at the time, maybe I should do a whole video on that one of these days. But miss Doogie, but love Mookie. Verdugo is a G for sure. The Giants are good, don't get me wrong, but damn, have they been lucky? LOL. Literally would have lost 2 in a row if the yeah. I mean, yeah. You said it best. They would. I mean, if he catches. I mean, if Avisail Garcia catches that, I watched that game live. Couldn't believe he took like the strangest, that candy cane route to the ball right there. It had like a strange little. I mean, I think the roof was closed. I don't understand why it would carry like that, but. Except for they joined the Giants. That's a great point, Anthony Keene. Yeah, that was just they have benefited. And look, you're going to get some regression to the mean. I mean, it's the baseball gods give it, the baseball gods take it, and I'm hopeful that the Dodgers, they get the breaks towards, a little over 50 games, 50 games left in the season. So but Keibert won't flop. Mark Flores, I don't think so either. I think that, at worst, he'll be a, everyday catcher at best, he'll be a top 10 to 15 catcher. If everything really breaks right for him, and he, some of that offense we've seen at the AAA level carries to the defense, especially, to the big league level, especially with his ability to be a switch hitter, those bat-to-ball skills. Who knows? He could be a top 5 catcher. But yeah, Doug, I'm moving from Florida to Boston this fall. Maybe I'll finally get to see a Dodgers game. Hey, that'd be awesome. You got to do it. Repeat B, Giants lucky. Kapler's doing something fishy in the Bay. Mike Saldana. I'm a sucker for some conspiracy theories. And, Mike, I like that because you know what the 51 Dodgers did. You know how they cheated. And I like that. I'm gonna be keep my eye out and be watching their games. If I hear some buzzers, if I hear some banging, we will be the first to jump on that. So, and Mike, if anything happens, I'm going to give you all the credit because you put the idea in my mind. Baseball, we love the sport. We know this is a sport where you can, we've seen some crazy stuff happen. But, yep, guys, thanks for rocking with us, guys. Over an hour now. Be sure to rock with Mr. Clint Pasillas and Brooks Smith tomorrow on the Blue Heaven podcast. They'll be going on, I'm assuming, sometime from 5 to 7 o'clock. Be sure to check our Instagram, our Twitter pages for that. Be sure to download the Dodgers Nation app. It has been a huge success so far. You be sure to download it for my Android and Apple iPhone users. Be sure to download it. It's weird how the Giants have found the fountain of youth. That's true. Kapler definitely on roids too. Dodgers gang, take care. Enjoying the closing ceremony from the Olympics. Cool. William Blocks, I believe that. But thanks, guys, for rocking with us. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. We're bringing multiple videos every single day on all things Dodger baseball, news, rumors, analysis. 3 Up, 3 Down, my man Eric Yulo. The Blue Heaven podcast with Clint Pasillas and Brooks Smith. The pregame and postgame presses you can find over there, hype videos, all that kind of stuff you can find at the YouTube channel. Be sure to get merched up. Head over to gearup.la. Some of the best Dodgers t-shirt designs in the game you're going to find right over there. But thanks again, guys. Couple more comments, and then we're going to be heading out of here. So bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, 2 strikes, bases are loaded. Dodgers down 3. Let's see your bottom. We got .com. Kapler's a juicer. Thanks for another great show. DMAC from my man Anthony Keene. Thank you for rocking with us. As always, Anthony Moose. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate the post-game show. Thanks, my man. Diane Schroeder. Smash that like button. Thanks, Diane. Dodgers in 4. Time for the G-Nats to fall back to earth. I'm definitely with that. We'll end on that one. But thanks, guys. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
What a catch by Mookie Betts. Another home run for Corey Seager. Another strikeout for Kershaw. A robbery of Tatis. Gone. Will Smith. This is what an ace looks like.
And tag out is Riley, a double play.